What up, it's Timus here. Well, for any fans of the 1982 horror classic Poltergeist, looks like Poltergeist might be in for a comeback. Uh, According to Jeff Snyder, who has some reliable scoops in on, during this week's episode of Hot Mic, co-hosted by John Roca and reliable entertainment journalist Jeff Snyder, um, shared what he has heard about Amazon's plans for Poltergeist, naming the franchise as one of the several MGM properties that Amazon is looking to polterize. Snyder notes that the Poltergeist situation is complicated by the fact that Spielberg will likely need to be involved. Spielberg, of course, produced the original 1982 horror classic, stating, all this stuff is so up in the air. Snyder makes sure to note Amazon is still figuring out what do we have here is in MGM. What do we want to do with it, and how do we want to do it? Now, of course, the original Poltergeist, which is maybe one of the most scariest horror films of all time. Last year I was actually able to watch Poltergeist back on the big screen because like they did a because MGM actually because AMC did those fan events, TCM events, and one of the films that were showing for the film's 40, 40th anniversary. One of them that they showed was Poltergeist, and I tell you right now, the original Poltergeist still holds up. I love that film. It's so creepy. The cast members, like you had Craig T. Nelson, the late young actress Heather O'Rourke, who played Carol Ann, one of the greatest horror performances by a child. You of course had Dominic Dunn was in that, R.I.P. Zelda Rubinstein was great. Joan Beth Williams. Of course, it was not directed by Spielberg, which I always thought he directed it. I remember when I first saw Poltergeist, I was like, man, this is one of my favorite Spielberg films. But then I realized he did not direct this, so yeah. The film was actually directed by Toby Hooper, who you might know directed the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Toby Hooper has a great sense in the horror sphere, and this was one of them. It's a terrific horror film if you guys never seen it. So yeah, I'm all down to see a new see new Poltergeist. Now of course the last time we did saw a new relaunch of Poltergeist was the 2015 remake with Sam Rockwell, which it was something I guess, but I don't know. I think a new take, with of course the spirit we're having with the horror space, with reviving horror properties like Halloween, Chucky, Ghostface, and all. I think a new Poltergeist could definitely work today, and definitely modernize it perfectly. Will you have some of the same characters? I don't know. It'll be. It's a shame that poor Heather O'Rourke or even Dominic Dunn are around. It would be cool to see if somehow you could do like a sequel to the original Poltergeist. I'd say maybe this may be sad, but maybe even like do a one that features a grown up Caroline, but sadly you will have to recast the character. Um, dealing, of course, dealing with similar to like what you call with Doctor Sleep. Something similar to that. Where of course they did recast the original actor who played Danny, which of course was they got Ewan McGregor for that. I mean, I think they could totally do something like that, but if it actually does happen, because like they said, you need Steven Spielberg's approval on this, I guess. So we'll see if this actually does get made, but I'm all for to see a whole new Poltergeist. I mean, a little surprised that it might go to Amazon instead of theirs, but hey, maybe they don't think a Poltergeist, like there's an audience for a new Poltergeist, maybe, who knows. But let me lead you guys. What are your thoughts on the possibility of a new Poltergeist relaunch? They don't really say film or series, though. I think it'll most likely be a film. But what are your thoughts on the possibility of a new Poltergeist? Would you love to see a new Poltergeist? Were you ever a fan of the original Poltergeist film? Drop comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that bell for more notifications. This is Henry signing out.